So I just watched the documentary Lorne, directed by Morgan Neville. So I'm not usually someone to watch documentaries unless the subject interests me. And yeah, I do like Lauren Michaels. I like Saturday Night Live. So when I first heard about this documentary, I was like, oh, okay, that looks interesting. I'll go ahead and check that out. I'll go ahead and check it out when it hits streaming, though. So yeah, went ahead, now that it is on streaming, went ahead, gave it a watch, and yeah, I liked it. Yeah, this was a pretty good documentary, and I think it is a bit hard for me to talk about documentaries, mostly because I think whether or not it's good for you will mostly be determined by whether you're interested in the subject matter. And there is more to it in this case than just that, but I mean, obviously, like I said, I am very interested in Saturday Night Live. Like, to give you an idea of how interested in it I am, one of my favorite movies that came out in 2024 was the biopic Saturday Night. That was just about the last 90 minutes before the first episode of Saturday Night Live aired and showed how crazy all of it was to put together. And it's a miracle that it even got on the air in the first place, let alone was good enough to become the empire it is today. But, and yes, obviously, I'm interested in it in that regard. And like, I'm a big fan of a lot of the people that SNL gave us, and like, just it's entertaining to watch this documentary because you get all these funny people together. It's going to be pretty entertaining to watch what they have to say. And also, just outside of that, like the way that the documentary is told is very well done. Like Morgan Neville, I'm figuring out, is someone who's very talented at making documentaries and actually making it feel like they were specially made for the person it's being made about. Like for this in this case, like the way that it's like half a documentary about Lorne Michaels and half a documentary about just what it's like to make an episode of Saturday Night Live. And the way that they connect these two together, like it makes sense because of how much Lorne's life really has been dedicated and is dedicated to Saturday Night Live. Like they are very like connected. You really can't have one without the other. So in that regard, it very much makes sense to have these two basically two different subjects of the documentary when they're really one subject. And at first, I was a little bit thrown off by the fact that like the way they did it was they would have different days of the week for how SNL is made, and in between each day they would have different parts of Lauren's life story being told. At first, that was throwing me off a little bit. Like I kind of wish they had done one then the other, but like I said, when you really watch it and you really see how intertwined the two are, like it does make sense that they would do this because this is how you tell this man's story, like how he is at work and how he is in his life, which is his whole history of how he got to where he is today. And also just the fact that, again, they have two very different sides to how they tell Lauren's story. Like when it's him, like how he is now at SNL, it's very much him kind of closed off and it's more other people telling his story. And then when you get into the more personal aspects of his life, that's when you get more of him talking and more of him telling us things. And again, that very much tells us how there are these two different sides to him, the Lorne who's the boss of SNL and the Lorne who's like just Lorne. And again, I think the way that the documentary manages to do this makes it work very well. Heck, even like the way they sometimes have these dramatizations of Lorne Michaels' life told in these SNL TV Funhouse animations, where I'm pretty sure Mike Myers is doing his Lorne Michaels impression. Like again, that very much fits for how this man's life has been and how connected he is to SNL. The only real complaints I can think of, and this is very much a nitpick, the music is the one place where this feels very much like a standard documentary. Like it's very much kind of standard documentary music throughout. And like I do think for someone as unique, like if you want to tell Lorne Michaels' story, it should feel more like SNL music. Like again, I think back to the 2024 Saturday Night biopic where the music composed by Jean Baptiste very much had like this jazz feel to it, not only because that's how the music scene was at the time, but also just that's kind of what was representative of Saturday Night Live. Very much like not exactly the kind of thing you would see or hear from the most pop mainstream places at the time. And so I feel like either they should have brought John Batiste back or at the very least created a similar style of music for the documentary to make it fit a bit better. But again, that's like very much a nitpick because really this is a very good documentary and probably my favorite that I've seen from this director. He also did the Piece by Piece documentary about Pharrell Williams, and again, that's another documentary where like they told Pharrell Williams' life as like a Lego movie, which is very fitting for how he is. I didn't get super into that because aside from the Lego style, it kind of felt like a standard musician's story, but still, it was the Lego aspect definitely helped make it feel unique and stand out a bit more than something like Bohemian Rhapsody, at least. But yeah, I very much enjoyed this documentary. If you're interested in Saturday Night Live or just show business in general, I'd say go ahead and check it out. And I'm gonna give Lorne a B. So those are my thoughts on the documentary. If you've seen it, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to see more reviews like this in the future. And if you haven't noticed, I have a bit of a different camera setup this time. I have new equipment I'm using to like help hold up my camera as I'm recording. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Let me know if there's anything I could fix or adjust because I'm very much experimenting with this right now. This was very much an experiment to see how well I can use this on my own. And on that note, I will see you next time. Have a great day.